It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This episode is brought to you by HP Instant Ink. No one is reading your mind, but HP Instant Ink knows when your printer is running low and sends new cartridges before you run out. So you never have to think about ink. For details, visit hp.com/instant ink Spotify. Conditions apply.
You're Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, hockey fans. I am your host, Jared Ellis, and you're listening to Locked On Hurricanes on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And we've got a new podcast that help you get hockey smart. The Cross-Check podcast, hosted by Andrew Berkshire and Mary Clark, goes deeper into NHL stories than any other podcast with the help of the smartest minds on the ice. Follow the Cross-Check podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. And as always, you can follow Locked On Hurricanes on Twitter and Instagram at @LO_Hurricanes, on Facebook at Locked On Hurricanes Podcast, and you can follow myself on Twitter and Locker Room at JaredEllis_96. And in today's episode, folks, we'll be previewing tonight's Game 5 matchup in Raleigh against the Nashville Predators. Going a quick rundown of everything going on in the Hurricanes universe right now. A whole lot going on, obviously, so we're going to have to talk about that. We'll give my predictions for tonight as well. If the lines come out while I'm recording, we'll look at those as well. And then we will also do a quick roundup from around the NHL and the other playoff series because we got another elimination. And I definitely have some thoughts about that one that I definitely want to share with you guys as well. So getting into Game 5, the Hurricanes and the Predators are back in Raleigh for this matchup. Puck drop is at 8 p.m., so you may end up needing some coffee, especially if this goes to double overtime again. Hopefully it doesn't. Because, I said it before, and, I'll say it again here, it took the Predators, the Hurricanes, to not have Jacob Slavin and double overtime for them to even beat the Hurricanes. So, if the Hurricanes can just prevent them from getting to double overtime, then, we're good to go. I know that's like the worst possible way to explain that, but, it is. It took them double overtime and us missing one of the best defensemen in the league for them to beat us. So, looking at that, that's one thing. Just to look at it and stay a little bit positive. Like, it took the Predators a lot to beat us. And then actually, games 3 and 4, this was a cool stat. That was the first time the franchise as a whole, the Hurricanes have, played back-to-back multi-overtime games. And game 3 was originally the second longest playoff game in franchise history, but game 4 ended up overtaking that. So that's cool. I mean, the team played a lot of hockey in like 36 hours. So that's basically 5 periods each. It's basically 3 games and a little bit of change there. So I'm sure they were tired. I'm sure they enjoyed that plane ride home and not enjoyed it, but maybe dozed off a little bit on it. I'm sure they definitely slept good when they got home. But I think one big thing for tonight is that they need Jacob Slavin, which we'll talk about that more in my predictions. But they really, really need him. I've said it in the past 2 episodes. Not having him has really brought issues to the forefront with the Hurricanes defense, especially Dougie Hamilton. And they need him back in the lineup. I think once they get him back, I think we'll be good to go. As far as I know right now, he's still just a game time decision. If he tells Rod and the rest of the coaching staff that he's good, he's good. He's playing. If not, then he's not going to be playing. Hopefully we can have him playing. Hopefully they just kind of use that 2-0 lead kind of as a little bit as a cushion for him to get better. I hope that's the case. I hope he's not just like legitimately hurt and can't play. I hope they just use that as a little bit of time to get him better. But, we'll see on that. I do think home ice advantage will, really benefit the Hurricanes tonight. Obviously everyone knows, every team's going to benefit from home ice. That's just, or home field, home court, every sport, every team is going to benefit off of playing in front of their home crowd. But the PNC Arena is called the loudest house in the NHL for a reason. That place gets rocking. And I will be in there rocking the place tonight. I'm really excited to be at that game. So, I'm really expecting them to just really feed off that crowd, which will actually play into one of my predictions that we'll talk about a little bit later. But, at the end of the day, games 3 and 4, they had their mistakes. Jake Bean and Dougie Hamilton really, leading to those overtime winning goals for Nashville. But, as a whole, those weren't bad games. The Hurricanes did play well. For the most part. Again, there were those mistakes. But, as a whole, they played their game, and they played it well for the most part. Ned played out of his mind. And, I think, it's his show. So, but I'm expecting them to really take what they did in Nashville and games 1 and 2 in Raleigh as well, and just really apply it to Game 5 as well, because, I mentioned in the Game 4 recap of Matt Duchene, in Game 3, his overtime winner. Ned obviously didn't make the save, but then in Game 4, Matt Duchene came up on him. Ned made the save. So I'm expecting, the team as a whole to just take a page out of Ned's book, look at mistakes you made, and just like, all right, this is what I messed up here at. This is what I'm going to do here. And then I'm really expecting that there tonight. I'm really hoping Dougie has a bounce-back game. Whether or not we'll see it, we'll see. But that's all stuff we'll be talking about here in the next segment, where we go over my predictions for tonight's game in Raleigh. Lucy is a nicotine company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative. Finally, tobacco alternatives that don't suck. Researched and developed for 3 years to be made for people, not patients. Lucy has created nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine that come in 3 flavors that are wintergreen, cinnamon, and pomegranate. Lucy also has lozenge with 4 milligrams of nicotine that also come in 3 flavors: cherry ice, citrus, and mint. Lucy lozenges and gums are FSA and HSA eligible, so you can use your FSA cards to purchase Lucy now. And it's convenient and discreet. Products can be enjoyed anywhere, on flights, at work, on the go, even in the gym. It's 2021, so get rid of your cigarettes, unplug your vape, throw out your dip, and get some Lucy nicotine gum or lozenges. This is the real deal. A subscription to Lucy comes directly to your door each month, so it's simple and you don't have to leave your house because Lucy has delivery down. Lucy lozenges and gums are also FSA and HSA eligible, so you can spend pre-tax dollars on them. Locked On NHL Network listeners, go to lucy.co and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL to get 20% off all products on your first order, including gum and lozenges. That's lucy.co and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL at checkout. Also, I have to read this disclaimer. Warning, this product does contain nicotine derived from tobacco. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Lucy.co, and be sure to use promo code LOCKEDONNHL. Now, of course, it is gearing up to be summertime, and you may be wanting to get your fancy car running, and what better way to do that is than with rockauto.com. RockAuto.com is a family business serving auto parts customers online for 20 years. Go to RockAuto.com to shop for auto and body parts from hundreds of manufacturers. They have everything from engine control modules and brake parts to tail lamps, motor oil, and even new carpet. Whether it's for your classic or daily driver, get everything you need in just a few easy clicks delivered directly to your door. The rockauto.com catalog is unique and remarkably easy to navigate. Quickly see all the parts available for your vehicle and choose the brands, specifications, and prices you prefer. Best of all, prices at rockauto.com are always reliably low, and the same for professionals and do-it-yourselfers. Why spend up to twice as much for the same parts? Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Write Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box so they know that we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need at rockauto.com. Now, going back into the Carolina Hurricanes and predictions I have for tonight's Game 5 matchup against the Predators. As I mentioned, I don't think games 3 and 4, overall were bad games for the Hurricanes. So I expect them to keep much of the same game plan that they had in those games, and games 1 and 2 as well. I just think, they'll take some of these little mistakes that they made. Use the example of Ned. I think that's the best one. And they'll do, what they need to do there. Speaking of Ned, I did mention in the Game 4 recap that, he hasn't really shown any reason for the Hurricanes not to start him. He hasn't given them any reason, to think that they can't. And actually, I just got this tweet notification, from Michael Smith, Hurricanes senior reporter. Jacob Slavin is on the ice for Canes morning skate. So I'm not going to say it, but he's skating. We may see him tonight. That would definitely be something, my prediction of maybe him, just using that 2-game lead, to get a little bit healthier. That could have been the case. If he plays tonight, woo, we got it. We got it, that's for sure. Now, obviously, now that I'll get back to Ned, but now with that coming in, as far as lines-wise, I originally had written down, no changes. I really don't see anything changing at all. But the one thing I could see changing would be if Jacob Slavin plays. If he plays, I think it'll pretty much kind of go back to normal, and we'd look, how we normally look with our defensive pairings. And with him skating this morning, we may be able to see those defensive pairings. And I'll tell you what, if he does play, that place is going to go nuts. Oh my God. Just seeing him go out on the ice, even if he doesn't start, which, if he does play, I don't expect him to start. I think they're kind of gonna limit his ice time a little bit. But especially if he starts, oh my God, that place is gonna go nuts. Even if he doesn't, the first time he takes the ice, roof off in parking lot. Hopefully just not on my car. But getting back to Alex Nedeljkovic, our Lord and Savior, Alex Nedeljkovic, I might add. He hasn't given the Hurricanes any reason not to start him. He's played phenomenal, out of his mind, regular season and playoffs. The only reason I could see them playing Peter over Ned is simply just to give Alex a breather. But he's a young kid. He's a couple months older than me. He's 25. I'll be 24 in the fall. So he's not that much older than me. He's a young kid, and he's actually in shape, unlike me. So he had his rest. So I could see him getting the start tonight. Again, the only reason I could see him not is, again, just to give him a little bit more rest. But, again, I really, at the end, they don't see any changes, unless Ned just plays awful, but I don't see that happening at all. The kid is phenomenal and should win the Calder. But one big prediction I do have for tonight is, especially coming off those back-to-back losses, and just knowing how competitive Sebastian Aho is, I'm sure you guys have heard, obviously, how competitive he is and how he used the first round exit last year against the Bruins. It's fuel in the offseason to train and get better. I am expecting him to go off tonight. I am. He is he's going to have a hell of a game. I'm really expecting that from Sebastian Aho tonight. And I think one thing that'll, feed into that is that home crowd of just, he's going to feed off of that. As will the whole team, obviously. Ned, Dougie, Slavs, if he plays, that whole SAT, just everyone. Everyone is going to feed off of that home crowd because everyone on that team knows just how rowdy the Hurricanes fans are. But looking at the flip side of things with the Predators, I do see the Predators continuing to try to get under the Hurricanes' skin. I think obviously the Hurricanes will continue to just not let that happen, just kind of brush them off, like the younger sibling that just kind of annoys you, and you're just kind of like, just go, like that. I expect that to be the case there. I do expect the Predators to play a hell of a game. I do. They're a good team. They've shown they can beat us. Again, it may take double overtime and us to not have Jacob Slavin for them to beat us, but they can beat us. So that's how I look at that situation. They're going to continue to do their thing. They're going to play well. UC Saros is a phenomenal goaltender, and he's going to continue to be a phenomenal goaltender tonight. He's going to make some amazing saves. I do think one thing that the Hurricanes need to do to get past him is maybe some better shot selection. Just having watching some highlights and whatnot. Some of their shot selection, in games 3 and 4, weren't the best. But at the end of the day, I think they'll get better. But I see the home crowd feeding into this, but I think someone's just gonna just be done with Erik Haula, and they're gonna drop the gloves with him, or at least try to. Whether or not he will reciprocate is a different question entirely. But someone's just gonna be done with him. It's gonna get ugly with him tonight. I really think so, because the Hurricanes are obviously mad about games 3 and 4, and then you look at all 4 games, him just being a nuisance, with the Hurricanes, and especially, at home, and the way they boo him here. Oh, it's gonna be rough. Oh, they're obviously gonna boo him, the second he takes the ice. The second he does anything, I wonder if he's gonna try to blow kisses to the crowd again. That would be interesting because he's definitely gonna get booed again. But that'll be an interesting thing. But I definitely think someone's just gonna go off on him, just beat the tar out of him. I really think that's gonna be the case tonight, and I will cheer my butt off when that happens. But obviously, we have our series tied right now, but the playoffs are going on around North America, not just in America, up in Canada as well. And we've had some more series end, and we'll be taking a look at that stuff just after this in the next segment, because I do really have some thoughts on that, and I think we're going to be in for an interesting offseason. Now, with the Washington Capitals, Alexander Ovechkin is now a free agent, and where is he going to end up this offseason? So place your bets now on where you think he's going to go with the best online sports betting place, betonline.ag. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your sports action. Baseball is also in full swing, and you can track all the action at BetOnline. Get the latest news and odds for all of your sporting needs, including MLB, NBA, and NHL, and all of your UFC MMA action. Before the next pitch, head over to BetOnline on your laptop or mobile device and check out all the great sporting news, sign-up bonuses, and contest information. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore, as this is your chance to get in the game as teams prep for their runs to the playoffs. Head to the website or use your mobile device today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use promo code LOCKEDON. That's a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use promo code LOCKEDON. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts.
What's up, everybody? David Harrison here of the Locked On Washington Football Team podcast. I actually just retired from the Army, and while that was a very exciting moment in my life, it also meant uprooting my family one last time. And not only that, but we moved in the midst of COVID, so finding the place that we really wanted to live wasn't as easy as it usually would have been. So we actually have moved a second time, and of course, every time we've had to wonder, is all of our stuff going to fit with our new house? Did you know that people who live in cities move 6 to 8 times before they even hit their early 30s? That's why you've got to check out Feather. Feather is a furniture rental company designed for people who want to feel at home no matter how often they move. Furnishing one bedroom can cost upwards of $6,000, but with Feather, you can furnish a bedroom with high-quality, beautifully designed furniture for the cost of your monthly utility bill. Their delivery team brings furniture directly to your home in as little as 7 days. They handle all the heavy lifting so you can go from an empty apartment to a fully furnished home without lifting a finger or assembling anything. And it's not just furniture. They have rugs, lamps, wall art, and more. What if you move to a new place with a different layout? No problem. You can easily get furniture that works for any space. Plus, by renting from Feather, you're choosing a sustainable alternative to fast furniture that won't end up in landfills. I remember vividly having to take time off of work or away from family events or social events that I wanted to attend just to wait for several furniture deliveries coming at different times throughout the week, but you don't have to go through that anymore. Try a new way to furnish your home right now. Feather has an exclusive offer just for Locked On listeners. If you go to livefeather.com right now and use the promo code Locked On, you'll receive $300 off your first month. Again, that's livefeather.com and use our promo code Locked On for $300 off your first month.
Get all the sports news you need in under 20 minutes with the Locked On Today podcast. Host Peter Bukowski updates you on the latest news in every major sport with the help of our local experts. Follow the Locked On Today podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. Now, again, the playoffs are, going on, around North America. And we have another elimination, folks, because last night, the Winnipeg Jets completed the sweep and swept the Edmonton Oilers. I did not expect that to happen. I did not. Not that I'm complaining, because while it did obviously kind of bust my bracket, not that I had the Oilers, going super far. I had, the opposite, picked. I thought Edmonton would sweep Winnipeg. But, Winnipeg went out and didn't sweep. Congratulations, Winnipeg. Even though I still miss you as Atlanta. A moment of silence for the Atlanta Thrashers. As I sniff. But anywho, back, to everything going on. The New York Islanders beat the Penguins in double overtime to take a 3-2 series lead in that one. Toronto beat Montreal to take a 2-1 series lead. The Florida Panthers had a heck of a game, Spencer Knight especially, as they rallied to avoid elimination. Tampa Bay does lead that series 3-2 now, and then the Minnesota Wild also avoided elimination last night as they beat the Vegas Golden Knights 4-2. The Vegas still leads that series 3-2, but one thing that was crazy with that game. The Golden Knights had 2 goals and with 40 shots on goal. Minnesota had 4 goals, won the game with 14 shots on goal. So that's crazy there. Good shot selection by Minnesota there, I guess. But obviously the big thing was the Jets beating the Oilers 4-3 in triple overtime. I think we are really going to see some changes in Edmonton this offseason. I don't think, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are going to get traded. I'll go ahead and say that now. I don't see that happening. While obviously anything can happen. Number 99, Wayne Gretzky, he got traded. So anything can happen. But, Connor, has said, he wants to be a part of Edmonton and all that stuff. So I don't see that happening. And if McDavid's there, Draisaitl's going to be there. I think, this offseason, Edmonton's going to really clean house with that team. They should. Whether or not they will, we'll see. But they've got to do something because that's rough. Getting swept by Winnipeg in the first round. And, oh, man. That's wild because, obviously, everyone knows, all the jokes and whatnot about, how Edmonton only has their top line and all that stuff, which is true. But, I really think Edmonton's going to do a lot off-season wise, with trades, free agents, just everything to really bolster that team, because I think Connor McDavid and Draisaitl, they definitely had enough with just the mediocrity surrounding them in Edmonton. And I think they're going to be like something's got to change. I definitely see Edmonton making a push to make big trades. And, again, especially the free agents, because there are some banging free agents this offseason. So I really think they're going to make a push, and I think we're going to see a different look Winnipeg Jets next year. Kind of like how we saw Toronto this year. Maybe not. I think Edmonton maybe go a little bit further in Toronto, because Toronto already had, a pretty good team, but they really were missing that grit. They obviously got that with Wayne Simmons, Joe Thornton. I see Edmonton doing something similar and really just deepening their roster, because again, outside of like Draisaitl and McDavid, they got nothing. But yeah, I think we're going to see a lot different Winnipeg this offseason. I do like how you have the Panthers and Wild making those a series and avoiding elimination. That was really cool. Obviously everyone's talked about the cap circumvention situation with Tampa. I'd love to see an investigation there, because I think that's pretty crappy. I think that's I don't like that. I don't. Now they're $17 million over the salary cap, but it doesn't matter anymore. Again, I'm personally not a fan of that, but that is what it is there. So I'd love to see the Panthers just go out, rally back, win that series. I love that. It was interesting, seeing Toronto win that game. Obviously, Montreal was missing some folks, like Eric Stahl, but Jack Campbell did have a heck of a game there, so that was cool. It was interesting seeing the Islanders go up on the Penguins. It took double overtime there as well, but that's definitely turning into a good series there. But looking ahead to tonight, obviously we have only 2 games tonight. We have our game, Predators at Hurricanes, and the only other game tonight is Toronto and Montreal. Our game is at 8 p.m., which has kind of been the norm for games in Raleigh. But the one that a lot of people have been talking about is the Game 6 on Thursday. It has a 9:30 p.m. Eastern time start time. Like, oh my God. That's like, when they were playing out on the West Coast, when they were playing like the teams in California. Oh my God, that's gonna suck on Thursday, man. Oh God. So get your coffee ready for Thursday. And then Montreal and Toronto are playing at 7 p.m. There's a primetime game. But that is what it is there. Again, I'm looking forward to being at the game tonight. It's going to be crazy. I put out a poll on my Twitter, what jersey should I wear, since my Ned jersey still hasn't shipped. But last I looked, my Aho jersey was winning. It's a white away jersey, really nice. It hasn't been to a game yet, because, it just hasn't. But, I'm looking forward to going to this game, looking forward to the tailgate. If you see me today, say hi. And until then, make sure you follow Locked On Hurricanes on Twitter and Instagram at @LO_Hurricanes. Give it a like on Facebook at Locked On Hurricanes Podcast. And follow myself on Twitter and Locker Room at JaredEllis_986. And enjoy the game tonight, folks. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace.